because Malik Kumarasinghe, who's the coordinating principal at Pichali International School, he is called the agent of change and a transformation leader in the education sector of Sri Lanka. With over 15 years of experience in the field, he has managed schools in different parts of the country with varied student, parent, and teacher backgrounds, and schools with different types of unique challenges. He has handled cultural changes and bringing about continuous improvements, quality assurance, and while making sure he motivates stakeholders. So, Malik, could you tell us a little bit about how the education segment can benefit from embracing this blended learning model? And what is it post this pandemic era?
Thank you, Safra, and good evening, everyone. I hope all are keeping well and safe. I'm not going to dwell too much on the theme of the webinar. I think Safra and Sanka already covered that. And but before I dive into the exact topic that I have been given, I'll touch on a few other areas which I feel the audience would benefit from. I think first of all, what we need to establish is the fact that no one was ready for all these changes at the same time. From the way we buy things, how we travel, to how we do business transactions, how we communicate, pretty much everything changed in our lives overnight. Somewhere around March 13th or 14th, thereabout in 2020, everything changed. And it was no different for the education sector in our country as well. I mean, things became unusually challenging, I would say. Due to a large number of factors, like some of the teachers were not very familiar with technology. Some didn't. Some parents and teachers didn't have access to technology at all in some parts of the country. I mean, if you look at areas like Mayangana, Anuradhapura, there are schools where some of the kids haven't even seen a tablet or a laptop. So I think it was very challenging. Like Asank correctly mentioned, I think internet quality, device availability, and ICT awareness were very daunting challenges for us as Lankans. But Safra, the amazing thing about the Lankan population is we have a knack for laughing off at anything and getting away. I mean, we are a country who have got bashed by a 40-year war, the tsunami, to oil fiasco, to beauty queens being overthrown. Whatever comes our way, we laugh it off and we take up a good beating and we move on. That I think as islanders we have an amazing knack for resilience, and I think it proved vital in this scenario. And Sri Lankans quickly adapted and did their best, in my opinion. And when it came to my staff at Pichali Gampa, they were simply amazing. I mean, they adjusted to the new norm and technology virtually in a matter of days. How amazing is it, Safra, when you have teachers who are like, sometimes 60 years old, who didn't have a Yahoo or a Google account or didn't know how to type on Word, suddenly, a few weeks later, teaching on Google. How crazy is that? I mean, that's the kind of like love Lankan teachers have for teaching. And I think, hats off to them. They are the unsung heroes. I think everyone really admired the doctors and the armored forces. They did a fabulous job too. But having said that, teachers were real unsung heroes. I did not, unfortunately, see any post on any of these electronic media acknowledging what the teachers have done. So I take this opportunity to thank all the people who are involved with the education sector in our country for keeping the country going. When the kids are really happy and learning, only a country can really move forward. So I actually would like to thank all the stakeholders who are involved, from top, middle level to bottom. You need all the stakeholders to come on board, starting from our chairman Dr. Jagat Talvis to CEO Dr. Punarjeeva, Mr. Sarvanan, and my team, and even the parents and the kids. I mean, if the kids and the parents did not buy what we were offering, it would have failed. For any change to work out, your stakeholders need to buy what you are selling. So when we went for those changes, I really appreciate the fact that all of them embraced it in a positive manner. coming specifically to the topic that you wanted me to address, Safra, which
Yeah.
is how, embracing blended learning can really benefit post-pandemic era. I think, like what Asanka mentioned correctly, there were many negative things with the pandemic. I mean, so much of death, so much of uncertainty, global, markets crashing, people unable to buy, food. I mean, not everyone had, smartphones in their head. Not everyone knew about e-commerce. Everything was quite challenging. Having said that, there were many positives which came out. Okay, one big positive that happened was, teachers and children learning and to present solutions and answers in a novel way. Teachers became very innovative through online teaching, and so did the children. And there were kind of like psychological changes as well. If you look at a traditional classroom, Sri Lankan teachers are quite uncomfortable with implementing what we call a flipped classroom, where you turn the tables around and the kids get involved with the teaching. But when it came to blended learning or online learning or teaching, teachers were quite comfortable with letting the students take the mantle and go forward. Same way, there were enough and more students, which I think any educator will verify, who were very, kind of like backward when it comes to giving answers in a physical classroom. If a teacher is asking a question, they'll never answer. But here you had those students coming forward, answering well, kind of like, being engaged. So they were very good things with blended learning. And also there were situations where, teachers kind of like got experimental. Teachers who were not very comfortable with PowerPoints and videos started incorporating them and augmenting the teaching. And even students got very creative. There were students who even sent their answers through homemade videos and podcast and PowerPoints, and they were clearly engaging more, and through that their kind of like confidence grew as well. I mean, some of the so-called backbenchers, kids who were like performing poorly in a traditional background, did very well on the online platform. Teachers were telling some of the kids who didn't, answer a single question, loved, filling up stuff on a Google form survey. So I think students kind of like got heavily involved with internet for education. I'll put it that way. Kids traditionally, who were like into gaming and music only, through the internet, kind of like got involved with education. They started doing a lot of research, and also there were other kind of like other benefits which came through this particular online teaching arrangement. For example, Safra, like when you think from a sustainability point of view and from cost and all those things, think about the amount of environmental pollution that came down. When transportation reduced, okay, the cost structures changed. Suddenly children were eating home cooked food while they were learning online. Kids went from McDonald's to eating malung at home, just like that. Okay, in some cases it wasn't option to.
I don't know if you'll be happy about that, but yes.
Yes, but those were some of the good things which came out of the pandemic too. And I think even in terms of child safety, parents were far more happier when online teaching was happening, Safra, because like when kids go on public transport, something bad could happen. So many positive things came out of blended learning, okay, or rather what we call this online teaching. So I think the way forward should be, maybe we need to have a structure where school doesn't maybe have to be 5 days a week in future. It could be maybe they are coming for certain critical components and the balance portion being done at home. Okay, it can be modified up to a certain extent like that. And still for all, just like what Asanka mentioned, even I have told my teachers to maintain certain components on Google Classroom, even though we have started physical classes again. Because I think handling technology and learning through technology is the way forward. So I think it's very important that we continue with that particular model. and go ahead. And I think we all know the benefits of Google Classroom already. It's kind of like paperless. You can incorporate a lot of enriched items onto, Google Drive. There's Google Form Survey, and you can do online assignments, and kids can track their work and assignments better. All the parents are on board. I mean, they'll be aware of the announcements that we make. In fact, Safra, the real funny thing is, in the past in Sri Lanka, there would have been enough and more parents sometimes who are unaware of their child's grade or what subjects are doing. Now that the Google emails are going to their mailbox, they're very much aware of all the activities being done day to day. So that's a very good news. And also parents have a clear idea about the announcements that we make. Some of those announcements can be very critical, and it needs to be, it needs to reach out to them on time. So those are very good things. So I think really, the Google Classroom is an amazing platform. That's the bottom line, where I think we can't thank enough Google for coming up with a product like that. It's kind of like importance was so significant during this COVID time. And I think it's a real game changer, to be frank. I think Google Classroom and such platforms should continue into the future as well, because it will make learning possible in all corners of the world, irrespective of whatever challenges that will come in the future. I mean, a similar scenario can come easily again. It could be another virus, or kind of like I don't know, maybe like a global level war, whatever comes. I think Google Classroom will be able to kind of like ensure that education happens no matter what. So I think thanks to Yara Technologies for, kind of like promoting Google for Education in Sri Lanka. And I would also like to thank all of you all for inviting me this evening, and to the audience for listening to me patiently. And let me also make this an opportunity to wish everyone for the new year. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Malik. I think definitely Google Classrooms has a lot of advantages, and now with the boom of the internet, as you say, there could even be possibilities of students from Sri Lanka learning from students from other countries. I think I know of a school, I think in Australia, where they invited ministers from other countries to actually join their classes. So I feel, and then they felt very involved, and they kept asking, these were small kids who kept asking them questions about how do they want to feel, what do they want from the world over the next few years. So these are things that we would not be able to do without technology, like you said. So thank you so much for giving us a little insight on your experience with the technology.